Okay, amazing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Million Dollar Next Steps. The whole vibe of this session is to provoke you. It's becoming one of my favorite words in my in all of the words that I know, really. Because I really find the distinction between intellect and knowing and actually doing sometimes is this provoking, this willingness to look at things that we've not maybe wanted to look at and we've not really wanted to face, right? So looking almost at our blind spots. And so today's session is Million Dollar Next Steps. Now, I understand that everyone has got different goals. And when we choose a benchmark like $1 million, it's very interesting because we get two camps of people. It's very funny, actually. We've never had this with the title of an event before. We've got one group of people that say, oh my God, $1 million is too much. I can't get behind that. It's so scary. And then we've got another group of people that say, $1 million, that's barely anything. That's nothing. And it's been so funny to watch because when I say to you guys, numbers are just numbers and you create the meaning around them. It's been so humorous to watch. We've literally had two camps of people. Christy texted me yesterday saying, oh yeah, shared it with someone and they just thought, oh, $1 million, that's not anything. And then in like the same breath, I've got people saying, oh God, that's crazy. I could never make that. And so the reason that I start with this is so we can really kind of get into this idea of like, it's all fucking made up. Basically, it's all made up. If you think $1 million is a big deal and it's going to be really hard to make and it's going to be the most terrible journey and you're not going to make it and it's going to take 75 bazillion years, then you will be right. Like you will be correct in that. That's what you're projecting out into your reality. But if you see the goal as small, right, then that shifts the journey there too. So when I say pick your goals for 2026, it literally doesn't matter where you're at. There is no judgment. There is nothing too small and then there is nothing too big. But I would like to see in the chat, because this is going to be really an internal journey, okay? Bearing in mind this is recorded and there's going to be a replay on YouTube. I want this to be an internal journey, but I'd like to see in the chat, for those of you guys that are here, what are some tangible goals for 2026? Like some tangible things that would be so fun to create. Listen to that frame. I'm not saying what would be some things that would be that you're going to apply a massive amount of stress and pressure to, and then you're going to feel like a massive failure if you don't complete them. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what would be fun as a 2026 goal. Because now is where we start creating the alignment. It's not mid-January. Now is when we start creating the alignment. Now, if you're listening to this replay in mid-January, it doesn't matter because before was always the best time, but the next best time is now, right? If you can't go to the past. You can only do now, right? So we've got in the chat, we've got 150K year. Brilliant. I love that. And I'm not going to say your name for privacy because this is going to be on YouTube, unless you don't mind me saying your names. Please just let me know. You don't mind. Okay, so Thea's put 150 for 2026. When I first met Thea, she was going from being a realtor to going into the coaching world and photography and what she loved. And her first question was like, I had this salary with, well, it's not a salary because you're still working on sales and you're a realtor. You're like, I've had this wage with a realtor, but I can't replace that with something else. So she was operating from this belief system that like, how is she going to do that? And now that's the fucking goal. There's nothing below. That's the option. It's actually beyond that.
You know that like lately I'm gonna expect a commission from an ex-colleague, which
Hmm.
I thought it was around 10K, but it's like 24K. And I'm expecting that. And I've been like being receiving like unexpected money and stuff. So I'm gonna get this month like 24K plus 2K from design, from like another 800 from a referral fee. So it's like my month this month is like holy fucking shit. It's not the 100K which I initially said when I joined. in June. It's like 100K would be my base, but I mean it's like around maybe 80K for being in transition from real estate to something new. It's like super good.
It's ridiculously good. And let's just celebrate that because Thea is part of the certification. She's been part of the VIP crew since June. Thea's so funny because she just came to the VIP thing and now she just does everything with us. Like it's one of those things. Like Thea is locked into all things, right? But here now, it felt impossible to do six figures, and she's done 80K of that already. And we're, pushing to a 30K month this month. There's something so profound that happens when you shift your frequency, and people don't believe it until they experience it because it's like, how can that be true, right? But the vibration that she's in is changed, and so now there's an unexpected commission and it's double what she thought it was going to be because she's vibrating differently. So I love that. Alex is going to be the king of the world. Brilliant. Someone's got to be. um Okay, Sandra's doing 120 in 2026. Nicole is doing 250. Nicole, I know I'm such a pest with you. Where are you? Can I see your camera? Oh, you're on your phone. Okay. Um, Nicole, you've done six figures for so many years, and I'm not going to speak to the details. I know I know 250,000 is a hop and a skip and a jump for you. So I would like you to choose 250,000. I don't know if she's going to be annoyed at this. I want you to choose 250,000 as your absolute minimum baseline. And I want there to be like a fun stretch there too, like a fun stretch. Okay. So Gesa says having our company pay us both a good salary in 2026 and going on vacation several times as we don't have to count vacation days. I love the fact that holidays is part of this. And I know Gesa is joining us on the VIP trip next year. Okay, well done, Thea. Kim obviously has a list. I have a list for the first quarter, 100K launch, easy. You're already well on track. Kim's 24 hours into a launch and she's like killing it. So many people have joined the wait list that it almost felt overwhelming. Sometimes when we hit a new level of abundance, the nervous system will say, oh, this is overwhelming, but that's just your nervous system learning how to process a new level of abundance, okay? Business class flights to Zimbabwe, hospitality tickets to the Formula One in Austria, renew with the Global Uni, health upgrade. I have some tangible weight goals, amazing. Further 2026 goals, build the foundations to my empire, start the business, not yet started. Once business one and two running. Kim joined the Global Uni early this year. Do you think that it's had an impact? Like, look at those goals. Okay, Nicole is also buying a house, booking a wedding. Oh, I love this. I love the fact that you guys are doing financial and you're also doing life goals, right? We want a plethora of things because remember, this gets to be fun. So again, 250,000 for Gesa and hubby. Love that. Vacations are the plan as we have Japan and Italy for my 40th birthday. I cannot believe that Sandra is 40. You guys, Sandra does a lot of hormone and longevity stuff. And when you meet her and you realize that I think you were 38 when we met in person, Sandra. So your brain has a spasm for a second because the math doesn't math, right? On her actual age and what she looks like. So that's amazing. Japan is on my bucket list. So I love that for you. That feels doable, or even having 250 cash closed instead of 250 sold, but we'll play with dreaming bigger, maybe 3K, but it feels hard to hold higher. Okay, that's perfect. I'm going to keep provoking Nicole because we've got a whole year together, right? So you seem so much younger, Sandra. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, cool. So we know what we're playing at. For those of you guys listening to the replay, get something tangible down. Okay. Again, like I said, there is no too small, there is no too big. So for some of you guys, we've been in like the multi six figure, multi six figure range. For some of you guys listening, it might be a multi seven figure, it might be a seven figure, it might be an 8 figure goal, right? I have clients of the whole kind of spectrum because what we teach are laws, what we teach are principles, we don't teach trends. And so it works for whatever stage you're at. Okay. Nicole says, I accept the poking. I mean, Nicole's also a client, so she didn't accept the poking. She probably would not be here. Okay, brilliant, amazing. Let's go into what we're doing. So I'm going to start playing some music and I'm going to just set an activity for you guys to do because I really didn't want this to be just a theory session. So like I said, we're going to begin with a 2025. Gosh, what year is it? We're completing 2025. We're going to start with a 2025 audit. Okay. The reason that we audit, and I would love to know if you guys have had this experience. I had a coach once that called it the rear view mirror effect, right? When we don't audit, aka learn the lesson, apply the learning of the lesson, and move forward, what tends to happen is people drag their failures from year to year. They drag the heaviness from year to year. They drag the things that didn't work. They drag the things that they're still punishing themselves for from year to year. And they wonder why things feel slower. They wonder why things feel stagnant. So an audit is designed so that you are actually taking stock of your year. You're learning the lessons that you will have undoubtedly had, because sometimes we learn lessons through fun things, and sometimes we learn lessons through maybe things that we wouldn't desire normally, right? We take those lessons and then we're letting them go into 2025. So we do an audit so we can give ourselves that blank slate to move into something completely new. And many of you guys have heard this story, and I'm going to tell it again because it's such an important story. My first year of business, I made 10,000, right? I don't come from a corporate background. I don't come from a business background. And really, at the beginning, all I had was passion. And passion is a great thing to have. So I really shouldn't say all, but I didn't really have any savvy internally or externally, right? I was learning manifestation, but I was really still in that initiation phase of learning, right? And so I remember doing an audit, and at that time, for whatever reason, I was auditing in, it would have been early August. And I was auditing, and I looked at my income to expenses, and I was at a massive loss. I'd borrowed money to do trainings. I was really at this point where no one would have looked at my spreadsheet of numbers and gone, what an excellent year in business you've had. Like, oh, Hannah, you've smashed it. Like, everyone would say, oh, I'm not sure if this is a good idea. And that's what people around me were saying. My dad was saying, oh, I feel like you're taking too many risks, you're too stressed. My friends around me are like, why don't you just do something normal? But I knew in my heart and in the depth of my soul that normal, and you guys are here for a reason, so you will also resonate with not being normal, you are built for more, didn't feel in alignment to what I wanted and who I was, even if who I was in its highest potential hadn't really started to be expressed. And so I did all my practical things. I fixed, everything that I had to do on a tangible, practical level. And then I gifted myself a blank slate. The next year, I was living in my first home that I'd ever had, that had a pool, a yoga studio. It wasn't like one of the big luxurious homes that I've got now, but it was a massive step from the teeny little flat that I was living in that didn't have heating, that didn't have aircon, that didn't have any, it just wasn't a great place for me to work. I really appreciated it because it was a little safe haven whilst my mother was sick, but it wasn't where I wanted to go, right? Not only that, my bank account was absolutely stacked with savings. What was my income goal actually became my savings. And so this is a 12-month gap. And so I say this so you guys understand that in 12 months, everything can change. And it doesn't matter if you're starting from a place of lack, like I was starting from a place of physicalized external lack, or let's say, because I'm going to doing the same process this year. It's been a great year, right? But I know that I'm ready for more next year. I know that we're doing some big stuff in 2026. So I've got to apply that same blank slate, because the mindset that worked for what you've created won't be the mindset that you're going to have going into the next thing. Okay. And so this audit we're going to do, and I just want you to create a table in your journals, docs. I don't know what you guys use, right? Sandra says, I can testify because I knew you back then. Yeah, the best thing is, like, lots of people have seen the journey. I'm not full of fucking shit. Like, Sandra's like, I've seen Hannah when she didn't own makeup and pretty much had dreadlocks and was working in Juice Plus. Sandra and I actually met. This is not even a joke. Sandra and I met in the Juice Plus days, network marketing, way before all of this. Didn't have clean hair for years, exactly. Ah, Manuela, hello, Hannah. I see you more vibrant and beautiful every time. I've missed your question. I'm excited. I'm going to West Africa to see Black Johnson Beach. Amazing. I love that. So the question that I put initially is, what is your 2026 goal? And now we're going into another activity. Okay, so do you guys have a journal, or do you have a phone, or do you have something that you can write on in some way, whether it is writing with a pen or some form of technology? Just confirm that. And what I want you to do is to create a table. okay? And the table's going to have 4 columns. I'm on my digital, I know some of you guys are so good with your organizational stuff. I'm on my digital journal on Notion. Love this. I'll be back going to get my journal. Brilliant. Okay, now's the time to get your journal, to get your computer, to get whatever you need to actually make notes, okay? And write things. Okay? The first column that we want to acknowledge in this is what went well. And I will repeat this for those of you guys that get the journals as well. What went well? Let's just acknowledge, because we've got 2 types of people, right? The people that kind of drag the failures and create identity from the failures. And then we've got the people that have absolutely smashed it, but do not acknowledge any of their wins. So even though they are absolutely smashing it, they always feel like they're failing. We've got many more types of people, but these are just 2 patterns that I'm going to speak to, right? So I want to make sure that we're acknowledging like all of the things that went great. What went better than expected? What things did you do that you have been putting off for fucking ages, right? So, for example, Thea left real estate, made money outside of real estate, right? The second column is big wins that I'm owning. So, what went well is kind of more the process steps, the things that you did. The big wins that I'm owning are more of those milestone moments. All of you guys have got milestones, okay? Number 3 is clearing, closing, and no longer carrying. Okay, so the things that I want you to write in this column, because this is a little bit more, not complicated, but I want to make sure that you get the essence of it. I want you to write a list of things that you did not take responsibility for this year, that your mind blamed other people for, your mind blamed external variables for, and your mind, basically kind of ego came in and it told you that you were powerless. Because the second that your mind says you're powerless, you're blaming something external to you. You're a victim of circumstances. You're not a creator. So I actually want you to write a list, right, of things that you have not taken responsibility for this year. Can you feel the provoking starting? Everyone will have them. It could be like, I didn't take responsibility because I blamed time and I didn't do any exercise. It could be I've avoided all sales activities all year, right? Or I've done them ad hoc. Okay? So, what have you not taken responsibility for? Underneath that of each of those things, distill the lesson. What's the lesson from this? How do I get my power from this? And what are you no longer carrying? So, I want you to learn the lesson, decide on what you're no longer carrying, and then close it. Okay? From this list, you're going to get highest priority actions moving forward. Let me write this down for you guys in the chat and I'll repeat it again because I want to make sure that you've got it, okay? So, didn't know Zoom did bullet points. I'm very happy about that. What I am owning. For those of you guys that came to Morocco, you know that we did something similar, but obviously it was an in-person. You can do a whiteboard. Oh, Sandra, I don't know if we're going to do a whiteboard. We're going to write this here. That might be beyond my tech level. I'll do some, I won't, I'm going to lie. What I'll do is I'll say, hello, Lucas, how do I use this on you? I was going to say I might do a tech, a YouTube tech training, but I probably won't. I'll ask Lucas, which, by the way, Lucas is here if you guys have got any technical questions when we start coming to stuff. So what went well? Big wins I'm owning, clearing, closing, and no longer carrying. And I'll just put in brackets. Where didn't you take responsibility? What's the lesson? How do you get your power back? To close the loop. Yeah, so we're closing loops. The thing is, when we don't close loops and we hold them, we leak so much energy. Let me just double check. Can you guys see that in the chat? If you guys could just confirm that you've got those. Amazing. Okay. I'm gonna start playing some music and you guys have got 10 minutes to do this activity and then we're gonna talk about it. Kim says, how do we determine the highest priority moving forward? Well, I would look at your clearing, closing, and no longer carrying list. So what action steps come from that? And then those are decisions that you've got to make, highest priority moving forward. What matters most to you in 2026? Right? A lot of things that people do is that they try to do too many things at once and they don't do anything properly at all. Yeah, Kim just gave me a guilty face. I'm just seeing what Alex sent me. Yeah, I'll have a look at that in a second. I still have struggles with reaching out and when people say no to one-to-one or memberships. I feel so much rejection. I think I have to deal with my childhood. Brilliant. So that goes in your action steps. Deal with rejection wounds in the certification that you're already in. Okay. Let me play this so you guys can start. Okay, starting to come to a close of this activity. You can, of course, go deeper when you've got more time, if you'd like to spend more time on this. And I'd like to see some of the things that you guys haven't been taking responsibility for in the chat. I'm curious, those of you guys that are brave and willing, I want to see some ownership, because ownership is actually what sets you free. Many of you guys have heard me say this. We only play in realms of 100% responsibility in IH. Correct, Nicole, the clearing column. Okay, amazing. We've got a very niche one there from Alex. Very unique to him. Oh, this is so good. I'm going to read some of these out and I'm going to turn the music off now. And let's go through some of these. Because we were talking about the distinction between €1,000 moves and $1,000,000 moves. We can only make that shift where we acknowledge whether there's a gap and we can upgrade that. Oh, look, we've got even one. Thea's is bullet pointed and the titles are bold. So
Yeah, it's in Notion.
Thea means business. So what have we got here? We've got a car accident, lesson that I'm on my phone while driving. Okay, amazing. So we're not going to do that anymore. And sometimes the universe gives us these little like lessons and these sharp nudges, right? So it could have been a lot worse, Nicole. If we're on our phone in a car, it can be something obviously significantly worse. So life is saying, you're safe, you're protected, we love you, but you're going to have a little bit of a bump here, right? Okay, body pain lesson, motion is lotion, and I can change my pain. Something that I will share with you guys is that because I work digitally, I used to, when I was in my hippie phase, I was doing yoga all the time, I was running all the time. And when I became an entrepreneur, it took me a long time to take responsibility for this. I was sitting so much that I would get pain here, right? Not okay. That's fascia and that's lymph. And so one of the big things that I did in 2025, alongside lots and lots of cleanses and detox, and I've really upped my level on health, and that's why we're beginning the cert next year with a detox. I got a walking desk with a treadmill. That's changed my life, especially if you're someone that's kind of used to having high peaks in cortisol. I've really, really found that because if I'm drinking coffee because I'm in motion, it's been like one of the best things that I've done. Conclusion, slow down and do my physio. Love that for you, Nicole. Weight, diet, lesson, it will change if I stay consistent 100%. The story I attached to follow-ups due to the M&L background, lesson found the trigger and now need to clear the trigger. That's so good. It's really interesting. So many people have got so much stuff around the action steps required. Fear, this is for you as well, required to create success, right? And so even the fact that people go MLMs or network marketing are bad, a lot of people have changed their life through network marketing. I'm not a network marketer, but I've got nothing against it, right? It's very interesting. We did a CAP session within House of Manifestation, our manifestation, obviously, membership. And I'll speak to offers at the end, although it will not be about House of Manifestation. But anyway, we had one of our guest speakers come in and she did a session, a CAP session. Now, because CAP kind of went viral on Instagram, never, ever, 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 ever have we had a session live in House of Manifestation that so many people have not come to because they're scared. And I've had a plethora, and people reached out to me and they said, well, I'm not sure if I like CAP. I've seen this and the movement and that. And people, I wouldn't have, obviously there's different teachers, but I wouldn't get you guys a teacher that is not safe and that I don't know, right? And I got a message today from one of my clients saying, oh, I did the session and I actually realized I was completely wrong, right? So freedom does come from and taking responsibility. That's such a good one, Nicole, is looking at our stories of things and where our stories of things is not allowing us to use something, right? That would actually benefit us. And actually speaking to like follow-ups, most of you guys here that are my clients have closed because of the conversation that we've had in the DMs. About 80% of our sales, right? Which is why my DMs are always so fucking full and sometimes there's a lapse on responses. It's because so many of our sales go through there. So if I decided, oh, I don't like that because we did that in network marketing, I would not have the client base that I have today. Okay. Lawsuit holds energy that it had on me. Exactly. I'm capable of doing the hardest things and without marketing my business and can heal. Yes, exactly. Amazing. So we've talked about the lawsuit before. Also, I'm going to say something a bit controversial. A lot of you guys that are meant for big leadership positions will go through situations like lawsuits, will go through legal situations because when you're very much in this kind of wobbly spine, you can't create impact. You're not in leadership. And if you're designed to make impact, you will experience things like that because it's basically cultivating leadership within you. Because to create your mission, to create your vision, you need that level of leadership. So when I hear people have been through a lawsuit or they're experiencing something like that, I actually celebrate it because I see it as a sign of great things to come. Okay. The fear of stepping into my leadership and influence. Oh, that's so funny. That's straight after. Lesson to clear this and move forward. You're already stepping into your leadership, Nicole. I didn't show up consistently, had a momentum phase, then shut down. This has been a cycle of mine for so long. So, Sandra, you need to look at because the responsibility is the shutdown. I'm fully 100% responsible for my shutdown. Okay, that's where we start. I'm 100% responsible for my lack of consistency. But for you to make those steps moving forward and know what to do, you need to really look at, well, what in you, what's the pattern that leads to the shutdown? What's the internalized thing that comes up for you that leads to the shutdown? Because if not, we are still victims to the shutdown. So was it that you were fearful of actually getting the results? Was it that you had a freeze moment? Because only when you identify this, right, can you change it. But when you're just like, oh, I've got a pattern of shutdown, then we're identifying with the pattern. That's not helpful. We want to break free from the pattern. Yeah. So, Manuela, blaming money or time for delay. Yeah. It's really interesting. If you guys are finding results are slow, and I know lots of you guys aren't, but some of you maybe, just notice where you're in waiting energy in your life. Because if you're putting out waiting energy, you're going to get waiting energy back, right? Where you're putting stuff in the future that you could deal with today, right? Okay. Avoiding visibility or action because of fear of judgment or failure. Amazing. Amazing. So, what's your action plan to deal with that? Okay. Holding on to past anger or resentment towards people instead of focusing on myself. Yeah, this is a really interesting thing. When we're angry and we're resentful at people and we hold on to that, what that actually creates within us is we start pulling more people to be angry and resentful for towards. If our point of attraction is I'm always so hard done by, people always really screw me over, then you're going to get more of those people. Let me tell you a fun example where I did this. There was a time where I got my first, I say my first hate page in Reddit because I've got a long career ahead of me and I'm sure I'll get another one at some point, right? You can take those hate pages down, by the way, if you're willing to pay money, but I've kept it up there because I will not let that have power over me. Um, but that feeling of, what was I going to say? That feeling of, oh my God, people are out to get me, I held that for a really long time. And what started happening is I started manifesting more people like that until I had to let go of that. And I shifted my belief system to everyone loves me. And I always attract extraordinary people. And even if someone puts something online, that doesn't get rid of the most dominant vibration and frequency in my life, which is I attract amazing people. In the shamanic map, I had someone post about my marketing. God, you can't believe manifestation teachers that talk. And it just makes me laugh these days. But you've got to sometimes walk through the fire to get to the other side. Yeah. We've got to have the experience and realize you don't die from judgment. So for those of you guys that are scared of rejection, start playing with the belief system that you are loved and appreciated for who you are and you attract incredible people, but also put yourself and practice putting yourself into areas where you do get rejected because you're going to build up a tolerance to it. Like it no longer conflict no longer bothers me. If I was in conflict with someone, or it could be even like a house or a property, that message, I'd look at it and I'd feel such anxiety to even open it. It's like my nervous system, it would be horrendous. Now I look at it and I'm like, I actually feel nothing. So sometimes we have to practice feeling the thing again and again and not running away from it, and then it stops controlling us. Okay, Alex, I'm in the Netherlands. I've met a man called, he told me he is the clock. Nothing is random. We're all here one final time to help people around us break generations of trauma. Amazing. So I'm curious to if this is kind of what you're doing, helping people and breaking generations of trauma, and you feel that that's like mission. And I feel like a lot of people are here with that as their mission. What are you bringing into creation 2026? That's the physical vessel of that. 2026 goal, 150K in savings, sorry, 150K in sales, 80K in savings. That might be a little slip that you're going to have more in savings than you could imagine for you. Buying a house, obsessed with that. I love that. That's a big thing on my list as well. I would like to buy a house, but we're moving to Dubai anytime soon. So I keep changing country and not buying a property because we just want to be in different places. But I love that's on your list. Finalizing the certification and running a membership with 10 or more people in there. You can definitely do more than 10 people, Thea. I know you. A few one-to-one clients, a loving relationship. I love that. Okay, what went well? Left a real estate, got my one-to-one client. Amazing, earn 80K this year. That's brilliant. Whilst you were in transition, upgraded my camera, bought a shitload of other upgraded tools. Love that. Applied for the cert. The mindset changes. You made my money. That's true. Night and day. Thea decided that she was going to join the global uni, was it? No, it was VIP. Sat on a rock in Rio Verde on the VIP trip. And like there was so much coming up in that moment, and it's definitely a massive shift from then. I love selling on rocks in nature. I feel like I'm going to do something like something like that. Buy with Hannah, but you've got to go to the river and we'll all be sat on rocks and sunbathing in a beautiful place. Brilliant. The lesson is to not listen to the negative beliefs around me 100% and the rejection I feel. Yeah, because when people say no to you, it's usually got nothing to do with you guys, and it's got everything to do with lots of people say no to financial decisions because they're stuck in their own internal scarcity, right? So it's actually not sometimes to do with offer. So sometimes we need to get out of our heads of this is about me and I'm being rejected into actual service and purpose. Sandra, I'm speaking to you. Like so many people could benefit from what you do in terms of health, right? And that you do in terms of like all of the things. And it's like, you need to get over your shit so you can serve more people, basically, to have that loud voice. And I know you started with the podcast, but also in the sales conversations, that certainty of like, no, I have been studying this for a long time. I do know how to get you a physiological result, and owning that. Okay, deal with rejections, highest priority number one, practice being rejected. I love that. That's so funny. Whilst also affirming I am loved and I love attracting amazing people around me, right? Taking action and reaching out and selling, amazing. Being consistent on lead generation. How many of you guys need that? Making my offers clear, finalizing premium course, amazing. Fear. I didn't complete the lessons as I got called. That's all good. So I'm no longer carrying shame for my debt. People listening to this need to hear that. So many people, their goal when they've got debt is, I need to figure out my debt. I need to clear my debt. And actually, what you need to be focusing on is building wealth, because when you build wealth, debt disappears. I paid off my student loan last year, and I find it hilarious because so many people feel bound by student loans. I just had it on a retainer and have paid it. And I called them because the contract ended, and I said, how much do I have left to pay? And they said £125. And I was like, okay, I didn't even notice it. I promise you, the total amount of time that I thought about my student debt for the last few years is like probably under 10 minutes. And it's only when I had to fill out paperwork and I was grumpy because I didn't want to fucking fill out paperwork. So can we get to that place of like, debt doesn't mean anything about me? Debt is actually leverage. And if you look at how wealthy people play with debt, you'll see how actually the mainstream population have been fed a fucking lie. Debt is an asset. Okay, that's what I'm going to say on debt. I want to say so much more, but that's all I'm going to say on debt. That I'm unworthy of a high salary, that absolutely needs to go. Inconsistent eating habits, my car accident, I had to slow down, and this is the universe showing me. Love that. Every time we talk about the lawsuit, I just think about Taylor Swift's song, I Like My Friends Cancelled. You're in the right community, Nicole. That's so true. Who listened to Taylor Swift's song, I Like My Friends Cancelled, and felt seen? I was like, that's my community. Because if you're a bold risk taker, like, you're going to be making waves and not everyone's going to like it. And here's something that I realized and why I was grateful for the hate page. I realized that I only got hate page because my impact is strong enough to make people feel something. Any artist that is great makes people feel something, good or bad, right? And then people express that. So, scared of the speed. Okay, so look, Sandra, what within you sees speed as bad? What do you think is going to happen, right, if it accelerates? So one thing that came to me but makes me a bit scared is that I'm dabbling in and out of creating a space, a hobby, of course, to make it the way. I find it to be in harmony with my values, like a choir, a breath worker. Oh, I love this. Yeah, but Gesa, your choir isn't creating something else that someone else has created. Instead of being like, I don't want to create what that choir is, start thinking about, I think this is going to give you so much confidence because you're going to see how good you are and how well you can hold it. I love this. I feel a lot of fear, how to maintain momentum, be accountable. Yeah, so the thing is, you just put it in the calendar and you say, I commit to this, and then you do it. It's actually that simple. I saw that my feet, that was quite funny. I'm not sure what that means, Sandra. Am I reading that wrong?
No, the feed about that person who was commenting about like the shamanic, and she was like quite like firm, like no, this is bullshit. So I remember I saw that feed on like, was it on Facebook, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, she's intense. So I was like, okay.
Oh, that's so funny. People even saw it and don't care. Yeah, it was
I just
intense.
laughed
It was
about
like,
it. I was like, okay.
you feel something about this. Are you okay? Do you need a cup of tea? I feel like you should have a little bath with a blanket because you're having some big feelings right now. And projecting them on the internet probably isn't helping. Oh, it would be Thea's second property. Amazing, Thea. I love that. I keep dipping out. We have an audit tomorrow. That's all good, Kim. Since we're talking about hate as well, today I discovered two copy accounts of me on Instagram. One depicting me as a transsexual person, as another person as a criminal. Like Mel Robbins says, let them. Let people speak, right? Let them burn themselves out with narratives that aren't inherently true, right? So, but when we can laugh at it and not taking it seriously or personal, you set yourself free. People, the thing is though, it's like even if people express it on social media or not, we live in this bizarre time because we have got technology at our fingertips. It's very easy for people to get on a computer or to get on a phone and blast out opinions that are backed on absolutely nothing, right? Whereas before it'd be kept in people's minds or gossip or behind the scenes, it can now be expressed. But I actually think that this is of benefit to the development of our consciousness because it sets us free from needing to be liked and understood by everybody. Because even if people are expressing it or not expressing it on social media, right? Even if they're probably still having thoughts. And the one thing that we can't control is what people think of us. Okay. And so when we stop trying, then we actually experience freedom because we can finally be our fucking selves. You know, there was a season in business where I felt like I had to be professional. And the business was nowhere near as magnetic because I felt like, oh, okay, this is the way that I should be. And the thing that's really unlocked the business is just being who I am. And that sounds like such a cliche thing, but people relate to me as a person, right? Now, obviously, there are different industries, and I run a digital business, which is based on personality, right? But the more that we can infuse who we are and we accept who we are, the more that everything succeeds. Okay, let's go into the next aspect. I'm curious, how much longer can you guys be? Because if I go over, which I can, or I can kind of bring this closer. Okay, bye, Thea. That's perfectly fine. Can anyone else stay longer? I'm going to frame that on depending how long you guys can stay. Yeah. Kim's like, I might be in and out of meetings. Okay. 1 more hour. Brilliant. So we're just going to go until when we go. So I want us to start playing with what's our highest timeline available in 2026. We have so many timelines available to us. In every single moment, Gesa, prepare your snacks for your kids. I know that's the thing that Gesa needs to do, right? So if we've got all of these timelines available to us, because we're in this moment, the present moment is full of potential, right? So there are many, many different ways that 2026 can go, right? Many, many ways that it can go. And we get to pick the one that we choose now. And then we have to live in alignment to that. So instead of falling into 2026 and saying, oh, I hope and will, and maybe it's going to go okay, what we're saying is, actually, I'm not the creator of my life, which is in fact incorrect. Okay? So we're making a conscious choice of what's the highest timeline that I choose for myself in 2026. And so we started to play with that, with how we began the session, talking about like the goals that you guys have got. So I just want to add some bits here, right? What's your highest timeline of 2026? I want you to write down on your piece of paper, title, what is my highest timeline of 26? Then I want you to start fleshing that out. So it's going to be like questions. Underneath that, I want you to write why it matters that you do this. And I know this sounds like a bit of a bizarre thing to do, but sometimes we actually have to convince ourselves of going for our goals, right? So many of us are stuck in passive manifestation. If it's meant for me, it will work out. When actually we're meant to be leading our lives. Okay? So why it matters, that matters as a question, because I want you guys to be convincing yourself on going for your goals. I can't do that. I can tell you that is an amazing idea and you can do it and this is the way to do it and this is the program that, but you have to be the one that decides that you're going to do it. So why does it matter? Right? Why does this matter? Why should you be doing this? How is your life going to change if you do this? I'm going to write this again. That's all good, Gesa. So what's your highest timeline for 2026? Why this? Why does this matter? I want you guys to sell yourself on this idea, right? Like, close yourself. I'm not going to close you on this. You close yourself on your fucking life. That is, in the fact, only in the realms of your responsibility, because I can't actually close you on your life, right? So the first question that I want you to ask is, what can stay the same to achieve this after that? Yeah. So what can you keep doing that's going to lead to that? So for example, Kim's just had this amazing beginning of the launch of a new business. Keep doing that shit. That's going to be helpful. But what needs to change underneath that? Okay. What do you need to take responsibility for to achieve this that you haven't done yet? Then what are your top 3 moves? Yeah. There we go. Again, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. It's not a huge amount of time. So you guys may want to, well, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, just pause me and put your own music on. That's the easiest thing. But if you're watching live and you want to go deeper into this, just do it when you've got more time and you can go deeper into it. Okay, the questions are the same. Again, I'm going to play music. And if you've got any questions, please pop them into the chat whilst the music's on. Brilliant. Amazing. Let's start getting reflections into the chat. What came through for you? What are you owning? And again, I'm going to close the music. Boom. So what came through for you thinking about this 2026 timeline? Highest timeline for 2026 is 350K sold, 250K cash, 100K saved. Love that. Agency systematized and relaunched. I love that too. WIC is full. You're well on the way to that anyway, Nicole. Membership is structured. Wedding is booked. Deposit for the house is paid. I live intentionally. I live healthily. I live in gratitude and faith. I live in joy. I show up consistently and act as the CEO of my business. That's $1 million move. I handle an internal marketing team with clarity, confidence, and mentorship. Brilliant. Why does it matter? Yeah, exactly. The longer that I put this off, the longer until I can experience it. Exactly. It matters because I'm at a pivotal point. Amazing. It matters because I am unable to drop my unaligned high ticket. Amazing. It matters to me because I deserve to hit my goals. Yeah. I don't believe in being deserving or not deserving. I believe that we're creators and we get to create what we want. And when deserving is in the question, then we can be deserving or not being deserving, right? So we can just take that out of the equation. It's like, I want to create it. Sorry, Kim, I missed your message. If I ever miss your message, guys, it's really not intentional. It's just that sometimes there's a lot going on and I'm teaching those messages and I can't respond to everything. But Kim says, I truly believe in myself, which is new. I love that. And I back myself, but I've been unwilling to bet on myself and take the risks that are needed for my next level. Hannah, you probably realize this about me, but I've only just realized about myself. Do you know what? I'm never going to tell you guys what level of risk to take. That's always you with you. But what actions do you need to take to bet on yourself then, Kim? If you're noticing that you back yourself, but you don't bet on yourself, what are tangible ways that you can break that pattern that you've identified? You have to bet on yourself. You have to take a level of risk. You have to. You have to. Brilliant. What can stay the same? Showing up authentically. Yes, I agree. Slowing down before creating. Dreaming bigger. Working with my coach. That's me. Enrolling Lucas in my goals. Who's Lucas? June, is that partner? Journaling and clearing. Content creation. I mean, I know who Lucas is on my team, but I'm guessing that's not your Lucas. Consistency and discipline and follow-ups. Yeah. SOPs. Amazing. This is so clear, Nicole. I love this. Top 3 moves: emotional clearing, structure and systems, execution, and high energy. This could be everyone's 3 top moves, Emotional clearing, that's lots of the work that we do in IH. It's like making sure you're actually a match in frequency to what you want and clearing up kind of all the emotions that block action. Structure and systems that are in alignment with the goals that you want to hit, and execution and high energy. Perfect. Highest timeline is fully visible, independent and empowered, actively sharing my work with confidence, right? That's like, how can we get paid if people don't know that we exist? I have my own personal space, strong boundaries, and a clear sense of identity. I consistently take action despite fear or judgment, creating momentum in my career and personal growth. I feel aligned with my purpose, free from old cycles and limiting beliefs. Amazing. Highest timeline is present the world, the transformation I underwent, and claim responsibility for all of my actions. Naming myself instead of Alex. Okay, interesting. Amazing. So yes, you want to be talking about the process of transformation that you've gone through. You want to be claiming responsibility. Total aha moment. That's there. I've been there this year. Okay, amazing. So Sandra's like, I back myself, but I don't bet on myself. It looks like it's a pattern. I feel good. My fiance, that's what I expected, Nicole. I feel good about my company. It's work, but it'll work out. Also our family, my partnership, renovations. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it will work. Can we shift our kind of viewpoint of it? Because if we think it's going to be a pain in the ass, then it's going to be a pain in the ass, Gesa. What if it was really fun? Like, if it was really fun to do this work, how would you be living it differently? I'll have some concerts, photo shoots. Love this. Feeling of it won't pay much. Well, but what if you get a really strong wedding photo shoot, Gesa, and it pays a fucking shit ton, right? Brilliant. Lucas is my fiance's name. Brilliant. Top moves, claim ownership of my ID, train mind, body, soul. Love that, because the level of the training of mind, body, and soul is whether you can hold the vision, right? If we're not training our infrastructure, then well, that's a hole already in the plan. So I love that. Care about my true feelings. Beautiful. Geyser says, call me there. That's the function of this call. And this is why I say to you guys, if you can come to live calls and just drop things into the chat, the function is that just a little bit of poking. Oh, I wonder if that can be fun, Geyser. I wonder if you could be well paid, Geyser. It's like, Geyser, I feel like you're kind of tiptoeing into the dreams, but it's like, you know, for some of you guys, Geyser's photography is beautiful and great. Geyser's musical talent is sensational, right? And so basically there's a place where you own that, and it's like, I can be well paid, and that journey can be fun, and it can be light, because you know that's a new identity that you get to claim within yourself, and you can do some of kind of the embodied inner child work around that. I am light, right? Okay, guys, you guys can continue working on this. I hope you guys have found this helpful. I'm going to take this last moment because I keep telling you guys I'm going to sell you the certification. I'm going to tell you about the certification, and we get so many amazing activities that we do that I haven't properly gone into the details. So I'm going to take this moment to go into the details with you. If you guys are in the certification or have done the certification and you want to throw it into the chat, now is the time. Okay, if you want to throw in your experiences, because I can read it out, whether you've worked with me in any context, I can read it out on the YouTube, and I'd really appreciate that. So if you could throw that into the chat now. If you've got any questions as well about the certification, now's the opportunity to ask it. What I will say as well, for those of you guys that are in my world in any way, and so many people have reached out to me today and gone, oh, you keep saying, you know, reach out at the end of the year to get kind of the offers for the end of the year. And then I've sent them the offers and they're like, what the actual fuck? How is this the offer? Like, you know, they've been in their head telling themselves that they can't afford it, they can't make it happen. And when they see the reality of it, they're like, I actually can make this happen. So this is not a time to keep our mouth closed. If you're interested in your kind of plethora of options, message me. I'm still open to doing calls for the next 2 weeks, okay? I'm going to go through the sales page with you. It feels the easiest way to do it. I'm going to make this fun for those of you guys that are my clients and know this stuff. The reason that I'm going to go through the sales page is one of my flaws that I've had in sales, and I'll share this with you guys in case it's helpful for your own sales, is that I am not a detail-orientated buyer. Actually, I'm curious, are you guys in the chat emotional buyers or detail-orientated logical buyers? I am emotional. So if I connect to the emotion of something and I have a feeling, I do not look at the details. So when I sell things, I'm like, do you feel it? Do you think that this is your net? Like, that's the way that I sell. But I know that so many of you guys are not emotional buyers. You actually need the underpinning and the logistics. So I'm actually going to tell you some of the details. Sandra's put emotional buyer. Yeah, lots of my clients are emotional buyers because I sell to emotional buyers mostly because I'm also an emotional buyer, right? Alex says a bit kind of both. My emotions guide my intuition and I always end up in the correct place. I have a very similar philosophy. I'm like, if I feel it, I trust it and I know. Like, I don't need any more information, which means that I have actually bought courses and then showed up and gone, I don't know what I bought. And it's so funny, in Morocco, we you know, it was a group of 13 of us. That included my partner and my sister and me. So 10 clients, because we keep our in-person experiences on purpose intimate. And so many people turned up and they're like, we don't know what we've bought. And this is a pervasive thing with my clients. They're like, we trust Hannah. We love Hannah. We're going to Morocco with Hannah. But I will give you some details, okay? You sold me through picking through my emotional patterns. Yeah, because here's the thing. It's like, I'm never going to fight for your limitations with you. I'm never going to push you into a decision. I don't believe in that. I think you guys need to make responsibility, you know, take responsibility for your choices. I never want to push you into anything that doesn't feel good. And I'm always going to advocate for possibility, and I'm always going to advocate for your power. So sometimes I'll ask questions and people go, oh God, you're so right. And then they end up converting and staying forever. I actually think I'm a bit of both. That the emotional aspect has only come from the forefront working with you, Hannah. Yeah, I think I would agree with that, Kim. So at the top of the delightful banner, you can see at the top that Luca's put there for you. Doors close December 30th. So what does that mean? Applications for the certification close December 30th, which is 2 weeks away. So we are in the 2-week final run to join the certification for 2026. And the next opportunity will be 2027, because we are running a 1 cohort system. Okay. It's 1 group, start of the year to the end of the year. Okay. Now, that's 14 days for you guys to get in the application, to book a call, because when you do the application, I will message you. And if I think that a call would be helpful, I'll offer that. On the application, you can also say, I would like a call with Hannah. Okay. Don't leave it to the last moment. Bearing in mind we're going through Christmas, if not absolutely necessary, so that we actually have time to book in that call, have the conversation if you've got any questions. Some of you guys will also be buyers like me, which are like, I don't have any questions, let's go, okay? But if you do have questions, which I understand people do, now is the time to ask them. Like the title says, this is the world's leading multidimensional healing certification. There are 2 things that make this certification unique. The first thing is we teach a plethora, okay, over 20 modalities: physical body modalities, emotional, mental modalities, spiritual modalities, and energetic modalities. Most certifications focus on 1 area of expertise. But the truth of healing is that it is not one-dimensional. And so this is why my clients, and I've had clients literally triple their prices after working with us, and by us I mean me, because they realize that they've got such a high level of mastery. Like, for example, Sandra is at the top of my screen right now. She did the certification with us last year. She can 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, take you to a one-to-one session now, find where in your body, okay, the block that you are manifesting in your life is being created for, and create a transformation within the end of that session. And I can say that with utter certainty, okay? So what you can do after the certification is create transformation. Beyond fluffy concepts online, you actually create physiological transformation. Not just processing things emotionally, not just being in your emotions, not just catharsis, actual transformation. Transformation in your body and transformation in manifestation. Okay? This whole certification has been 14 years of work. I started in psychology. I was interested. It wasn't clinical psychology, but it was psychology. I realized that for me was a dead-end road, because there were many things that the conventional systems did not answer. And I have studied everything from holistic nutrition all the way up to the wooiest, most energetic modalities, which are also helpful. You get that 10-year, well, more than a decade training in a 1-year course, which if you're someone that, appreciates efficacy, you'll appreciate that. But also, I am the type of person, talking about betting on yourself, Kim, that I've bet on myself not just once, but for the large part of the last decade plus, which means I've put my money where my mouth is. That is a lot of money that I've invested into business training and healing training that you get in one course, multiple 6 figures, if we're looking at both. And you get that within a 25K investment. Okay. So in terms of what you're getting for your money, and in terms of the time frame that you are getting that delivered, it is unmatched. Now, I do a delightful video here on the sales page, which would be fantastic if you watched. Actually, a lot of people that have reached out about it did watch it, which I love, where I describe the whole 4-body system. If you're new to this, listening to it, I recommend, because the link for this is if you're watching this on the YouTube, it's in the YouTube notes section, right? Watch the video. If you're new to this, listen to the 4-modality system, the 4-body system. There's many more modalities than that, okay? I'm not going to explain it now because I've explained it on the page. The journey is a year long. We start with the physical body. We're going to do a detox, because you've got to have the strength in your body to hold the goals that you want. And detoxing and cleansing has been a massive part of my 2025. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been a big health upgrade year for me, a big health upgrade year. That means that the physical body within the certification has been upgraded and updated. That has never happened before. We're then going to go from February to March on the emotional mental body. And this is where you guys are going to cry. Basically, Sandra nods her head. This is the part of the training where everyone cries. But this is where we start doing emotional mental work. Now, you're not going to get access to this in this level within the global uni, right? This is why so many of our clients upgrade to the certification. You get a lot of this training where you can do the processes on yourself within the global uni, but in the certification, you've got to practice these therapies on each other. And to begin with, it's going to feel like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Everyone's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need more information to do it. I'm not sure I've got enough information to do it. Maybe I need more information. But through practice of delivering it on other people and receiving it on yourself, something's going to unlock. Firstly, you're going to start unlocking your spiritual gifts. That happens to the vast majority of people. Sandra's putting her finger up. Sandra, were you able to see what you see now prior?
No. And when we did the emotional body as well, that was a time of my life, obviously, where when I actually lost my mom as well. So it was like everything unraveling. And then when we did the in-person, it just like, I can't even describe it. It's just like everything
Yeah.
it went everywhere. And that's when I had like my biggest cash months as well, is everything like changed after the training. So yeah, like the emotional body is the most important part. I would say it's the core of like everything, and this is where you will unlock everything.
100%. I would say it's the most important, but a lot of people spend too much time on the emotional and mental body, and they don't spend enough time in the energetic body, anchoring into manifestation. But Sandra's saying that because the processes that we do in the certification take you through all four bodies. We just teach them within this body, right? Thank you so much for sharing that. And actually, a big thing is like, Sandra lost her mum in the certification. We work on wealth and success, but we also work on the human being, right? It's like people go through life transitions with us, and we're not frightened in terms of support there, because obviously my history is navigating similar stuff. But yeah, 100%. So Sandra, in the in-person, a lot of people start to unlock the spiritual gifts really powerfully within the in-person, because basically it's actually, you do so many processes back to back that you're kind of worn down and really deep stuff comes up. Everyone's very exhausted, and that's in that state. It's done very intentionally. New levels of your superhuman abilities unlock, right? We've all got superhuman abilities. It's just that our society prioritizes the logical mind over other capacities. Sandra had all of her ancestors attend. I've never had anything like that. Her whole, I don't even know how many fucking generations back came, but like it was a thing. We were like, okay, Sandra, right? But obviously she'd gone through, the loss of her mum recently, so there was a lot of activation there. So the emotional mental body is really important for that. But that's also a system that you're going to use for the rest of your life. And when you guys have seen in my testimonials, clients have been like, I'm still using these resources 4.5 years later. The reason, and I'll look at the comment section in a second, I just want to make sure that I get through the sales page. The reason that they're saying this is because we're teaching you a technology that exactly precisely helps you find the blocks within you, right? And that's going to shift your reality. But you're not just learning the technology within the certification, you're forced to apply it, because there's accountability in the certification that doesn't exist within the global uni. Global uni is self-led. Certification is like, you've got to do your homeworks, mate. And it's not a huge amount of work, right? But it is very impactful, and you also get a higher proximity to anything else, because I go through everyone's trainings, I watch the videos. There is a cap on that, because when I had Sandra's cohort, this is the only cohort it's happened with, I've never had a group of more eager beavers. Everyone was like, Hannah, I've done 28,000 practice sessions. Some of them are in French, some of them in English. I did one in German. Do you speak Italian? And to be like, guys, I love the dedication here. No, I don't speak German. No, I don't speak Italian. I will watch some French and pray that I get it. Spanish is fine. English is fine, right? But that's my languages. And so it is obviously capped. So send me the ones that you want me to look at. But there is a level of accountability and there's a level of precision in the certification that only exists there. We then go into the soul's body, which is relationship dynamics, which people have really big breakthroughs there. Shadow work, energetics, and kind of understanding karma. Karma is a new module that we've added to the soul's body that didn't used to exist. Okay. energy body, shamanism, energetics, energy work, and manifestation. Okay, so we do this all unbelievably within a year. Okay, now what I want to say for those of you guys doing the certification is you have to release control. You cannot control the journey. A lot of people that are used to control, they're like, I want it to go from this to this to this, and it's not that. It's like the certification is really a rebirth. We're peeling off all of these layers of you to birth this congruent sense of self, right? And so that's going to mean that we're going to have to release things, and it might not always be logical, but if you need logical, then you can only have linear growth in success. But if you embrace illogical, that's where big things get to come through. Okay. The in-person training always blows everyone's knickers off, or pants, whether you're a girl or a boy. In America, pants are trousers. So underpants, I don't know what you'd say in America for pants. Anyway, your underwear off. This is honestly 3 days where we just do process. Nothing. There is nothing that we do that's equivalent to this. There is literally, and I'm not saying that for sales. I'm just like Sandra's going, yeah, exactly. Because the fact that you've been with this group of people doing this deep work for the best part of a year, so there's a level of love, safety, and trust, I would say, which is paramount for this. We don't have really any conflict, any blow-ups in the certification. Like, people really gel beautifully, even if people are very different, right? And we have different walks of life. So then we finish and we close with the physical body. So it's physical body, we do the journey, we've got the in-person, and then we close with the physical body again. And then in December, we celebrate, okay? Because celebration is part of it. Now, within the certification, you get everything that you get as a global uni student. If we just added together all of the blueprints that you get within the global uni, that would cost you 36,000. Just without the certification, if you just bought all the blueprints separately, that'd be 36,317 if you want me to be very specific, but I'm a little bit lazy, so I like to round things up or down. If you're curious on what those blueprints are, they're linked here. When you join the certification, you will get access to some, but as we go through the year, you'll get access to all of them. Some of them are repeated. Like, for example, we're doing the Energetic Accelerator Classic within the Global Uni right now. And I've said to my clients, even if you've done this before, we're doing it again, because I don't care what you know, I care what you do, right? And one of the shadows that people fall into is, I've already done it. I don't need that support. I don't need to practice. You do, okay? Then there are other things that are always upgrading. For example, we did the MDB, the Multidimensional Business System top up in November, which was insane, where I basically said, this is what you need to do to build your business. And it was very functional. And we also had a big conversation about like this inner mindset that we need for it. Okay. Now, there were other things added this year. You can see that we'd added the Energetic Accelerator Pro. We added the Energetic Accelerator 2025 top up. We added, the social media blueprint, which is all about your unique blueprint for business. We've added various things, and every single year there are always upgrades and updates, because I apparently have a problem and I can't just chill out and say, this is enough, this is good enough. I'm like, no, I learned something else, therefore you need to get an even better version of this. This is what happens when you pick a coach that has a triple Virgo placement and only is basically Virgo and Leo. For those of you guys that like astrology, for you guys that don't, well, then that won't have made sense to you, okay? So you get these blueprints included. Now, what is really powerful with our certification, and most certifications don't do, is there are a lot of really cheapy certifications online that give you very simple mindset-y hacks. That's not what we are, okay? So the depth of the work that we teach is one of the things that is unique. But we also teach you business, because even though your level of mastery of the healing arts does mean you're going to be able to charge more, right? Still, without business training, it's not going to happen. I'm a delusional spiritual person, but I am not a delusional spiritual person to the point that I'm going to say to you, you can manifest one of your results. So we have added the multidimensional business system within the certification. And so this is really the exact internal, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, and energetic blueprint required to create not just that first million, but regular high ticket sales, because you guys need the business acumen as you scale the empires that you guys are scaling. Now, to be clear, we have two types of people that join the certification. We have got those of you guys that are healers and coaches, and you're like, yes, I want to learn the business. I want to become a healer. And then we've got, which is, by the way, about 50-50%. Like, you'd think that most of the people that do this are coaches and healers. That is in fact not true. We have lots of people that do this journey for themselves because they want to master themselves, because they understand that mastering themselves is what's going to then lead to what they want. We also have a lot of people that have got to a certain age and all they've done their whole life is suppressed and pushed things down, and they've realized, excuse me, sir, I cannot continue to do that because it has a consequence. Okay. And we've just got people that are here for high performance, and they understand that mastering all 4 planes is part of high performance. All of these reasonings are good reasonings to do the certification. Whether it's for your own internal, someone said this on a discovery call, oh, the certification's like doing, just like, he was a software engineer, he said it's just like a software upgrade in his 50s because I'm in my 50s and I need to make sure that everything's working properly. Best description. This is an all 4 plane software upgrade, okay? You guys are the software, or it is your software, you're not the software. So this is some people sharing about multidimensional business. Here is everything that you get added. It's just insane. It's like 90,000 total because I don't do something in half measures. It's not going to feel overwhelming if there's so many things to do. It's just going to feel like you are well resourced. So you get access to the Global Union, all the blueprints, you get the 2-day practitioner training, you get the multidimensional business system courses, you get the House of Manifestation membership, and you can click on all the links to see what all these things are. There are 2 live monthly practitioner training calls. We are setting these calls when you join. If you've got a time zone, which you will because you're alive on planet Earth, please just tell us what it is so we can figure out a time that works for everyone. You also get the full certification in integrative healing. The private practitioner WhatsApp that's just for questions for the certification, okay? The VIP level is the VIP support that I'll speak to. There'll be private practitioner practice sessions, the IH badge for your website, the full training system, okay? If you've not got the badge, by the way, and you guys want the badge, you do have to request it because then we can send it to you, okay? Total investment is 25,000, 30,000 if you're a couple and you want to do it. We always do couple rates because we love it when couples kind of do the work together. It's so fun. It's a big part. You know, the first 6 months of Craig and I's relationship, we paid for a training course together. So weird. We just met and we're like, do you want to do this training course? But that's a true story. So we always want to make that available to people. And I know Kim and hubby did House of Manifestation together, and that was really cute. And we loved that, right? So bonuses is that you get instant access to the complete multidimensional business system for free now, okay? Because you'd usually get it spread throughout the year, and November is the final chunk, which is that 9,821, right, of trainings. If you just get your application in before the 24th, you get that. That's it. All you need to do is get your application in. Literally, that's it. When you get your application in, you'll either be given a yes, this is perfect for you, here's a payment link. We're not sure if this is good for you, so we'll do a call. Or actually, we don't think this is the right fit for you, so here's another option. We do this because it's not about just creating sales for us. It's about getting people in the right programs that are actually going to benefit them. And that's always going to be the most important thing. If you pay in full by December 24th, you also receive a one-to-one session with me to map out your whole 2026. Business-wise, internal-wise, and energetic architecture-wise, okay? So that's usually going to be around a 2-hour call. We're not going to get it done in an hour, okay? Certification options. You've got the 25K foundation and the 30K where I was speaking to like actual WhatsApp support VIP. So that's aside from asking questions like, when's the Zoom call, right? Actual WhatsApp support. That's where, and my VIP spaces, I'm going to be honest to you guys, are my favorite spaces because people work through patterns and things really fast. Lots of you guys here have been in VIP or in VIP. So people send me this is not even a joke. Right now, I still offer this. And in 2026, I'm still offering this. There will be a time where I cannot because it will not fit in my bandwidth. If you've got a sales page that you want me to look at, I will look through it and I will go through your messaging with you. Do you want to send me your launch plan? Do you want to send me your trigger that came up it's like all of the multidimensional things that I teach, you can come and speak to in WhatsApp. And unlike people that master something like strategy or emotional healing, I master the whole plane, the whole section, all of the pieces of the pie. So you guys can bring me all of those things. And something that we see in VIP is that people win faster because they don't get stuck in stagnation, because they resolve things fast in the VIP. Okay. So VIP is doubling in price. By the way, you can get the VIP without the certification, but VIP is doubling in price end of this month, 30th of December. So if you're listening to this and you want to know about being in the VIP room, in the VIP space, now is the time to message me. Okay, so the VIP is 30,000, and you also, on top of the 2-day training, get a 5-day experience in June next year. Okay, we've also got the multidimensional gold package. So when I say that I don't do one-to-one calls, the one-to-one package it's a 6-figure package, because at this point the demand is high. The VIP groups are growing, and they will have to be capped and limited and slowed down. That's why we're doubling the price, because a lot of people are joining them, right? So if you're interested in the one-to-one, that's a private conversation. That's not like, oh, it's this exact thing that you're going to go through. It's like, we're going to make something bespoke for you, but it starts at 120K the year. And it can include the VIP certification level. It will just mean more health screenings. It means that you'll have more calls with me. You'll have private WhatsApp support. Some of you guys that are more successful or maybe more visible in your jobs don't want to be seen by other people going through things, and you understand that there's a level of privacy required. That's a greater fit for this one-to-one. Okay, you've also got SOS calls, which is when something happens and you urgently need support, that you can use them. Okay, so you can look through that. This is because it is such a premium offer. This is something that can be amended to your needs. So this is what we propose as the gold standard package. However, to be clear, it can also be discussed if you share with us what you want to work on, how we can make it a perfect fit for you. Again, all of this is application. And if you're interested in something that's ultra premium or corporate, that exists, but we don't market that to the public. So please email the team. You can see the team email there, team at the school of integrative-healing.com. Okay. If you go down here, you can see lots of our amazing clients' experiences. I'm not going to read through them all. You guys can read through them and you can see a little bit about me, but you guys have all really heard a lot from me at the end of Million Dollar Healer. I have never given more information in a sales call in my fucking life. Like, I really hope that you really appreciate how hard it is for me to tell you everything. I don't think there's anything else to ask me. You can ask me if you're in the global uni and you want an upgrade. You can ask me the specific price for you, because I can't tell you that right now, because that's going to be a person by person basis. But you know so many things. Sandra's laughing because she's been here for years. Kim's like, it's appreciated. And she's like, Hannah doesn't do this. You are welcome. Okay. I've got to go. Perfect. All good. I know we're so over. We were so eager to get excellent at it, Sandra's cohort. I've never seen anything like this. It's so loving. Yeah, honestly, the certification space is so loving because it's so loving because everyone has made a commitment for personal development in a really serious way, because we're not a light school, we go deep. So people aren't just dabbling, and it creates just an amazing, amazing group. My spiritual abilities are remote viewing. I close my eyes. There you go. Amazing. Sorry to hear that, Sandra. This is my superpower now. In 1 hour, the results are insane and it ripples. That's Sandra owning her power after the certification training, just so you guys can see. Like, it's not just me talking bollocks. Like, people are actually trained, okay? Not only on the in-person, but everyone else around them. The emotional body work was intense, yeah. What are the key differences between the global uni and the cert? Is it like learning for yourself and learning to teach it? Nicole, do you feel like I've answered that? I'm going to answer that quickly. This is also because I've given so many details. We're so late, but we're gonna ride the wave, okay? A lot of you guys are here, bearing in mind how ridiculously late we are. So I'm very impressed. See, guys, people do like this. Look at those clients here that are listening to this that have already bought this. So but like, that's what's happening. It must mean something. The key differences between global uni and the cert, and for you, Nicole, the upgrade would be such a minor amount, it is worth considering. But the distinction is, in the global uni, it's like self-learning. Okay, so you're going to get all of the blueprints, but you're not going to go through all of the modalities. Oh, this is a detail that I didn't share. within the certification, you go through each body live. And it's the only place that I go through integrative healing live. And we work through it practically with accountability. So yes, within the certification, you learn how to teach it, but it's primarily a journey into yourself first. It's like you can't take anywhere where you have not gone. Right? So that's why so many people just do it for themselves. I would say the global uni is extremely, extremely transformational. And it's not a patch on the cert. Like that's the distinction. I actually think that I'm a bit of both. Oh, boom. Okay, brilliant. Gay sir, are you not in the cert? Gay sir, are you not in the cert? Geyser, I sent Geyser an offer and we realized that I just dropped her like a spanner, you know, the emoji of a spanner, and we put like a laughing face because the offer threw a spanner in the works. So Geyser, are you not in the cert? Sandra asked that, not me. Sandra asked that. Messaged you private about the upgrade. Bye, Nicole. Let me finish this. Getting all the details for my decision. Yes, I think you answered it. Thank you. We were fully invested. Sandra says that. 1,000,000%. Mary Bell says thank you. Okay, guys, let's bring this to the close. Let's understand that we have just experienced a unique moment in global uni history, where I've told you the details of an offer that you are buying instead of just assuming. Yeah, thank you, Sandra. I would like to receive that applause instead of being like, can't you feel the choice? Which has really been my primary selling skill, which hasn't done us bad, to be fair. I feel like I must attract loons like me. I'm like, can't you feel the resonance in your body? So no, you actually know what you're buying. I'm very excited for those of you guys that join me. Steps. If you are a client, you do not need to do an application form because I know you, okay? I know your goals. I'm very connected to my clients. Just message me and say, Hannah, what is the pricing for me? Okay. Or Hannah, what are the options for me? Because if you're a client and maybe you're in the certification and you want to add something else, or you want to add VIP, or you just like, you guys know the drill, just message me. It's the simplest thing. If you're not yet a client, but you're about to be a client, then please fill in the application form. It just means like within all of our sales processes, even though we use the word sales, it's like I am actually serving you in the sales process. And so how do I serve you if I don't know what you want and I don't know what the gap is and I don't know any of these things? And so when you fill out an application process, I can see what you're actually going to need. And that's where I can say the certification is a great match, or I can say, actually, this other offer is going to be better for you. And that honestly just feels much, much, much cleaner to us, because what I've learned, and I always say this to my clients, there is not a paycheck that is worth lack of alignment for. So we just want to, if you guys want our opinion, we will give it to you on what's the best next step for you. And that's something that I've maintained my whole business for obvious reasons, okay? Cool. If anyone has any questions about my cert, I can share my experiences with anyone if unsure. We've got Natalia coming on tomorrow to share her testimonial. I think Gracie's going to come on. And Sandra, if you'd like to share, that would also be amazing, because Sandra's done the uni and she's done the certification. Do you have any things available apart from the certification? Yes, I do. Okay, so if you want something specifically different and it's not a match, I'm not going to share it right now because we're in launch of the certification, but you can message me. Okay, that's why it's the easiest thing to do. Sandra says, I've done everything. This is true. You haven't done a VIP trip yet. Yet, because it's 2026 calling. Yet, Sandra. Okay, brilliant. So we are complete. We've only gone over 44 minutes. That's not bad. A lot of you have stayed. I'm very grateful for that. I'll see you guys in your application forms in my emails, or I'll see you guys in my DMs. Any social media channel is absolutely fine, except LinkedIn, because I do not check my LinkedIn. So even though Kim is giving me tell off face, I will check it in January, but I will not be checking it in this launch cycle. So please message me on Instagram or Facebook. If you'd like a response, if you want to message me and not get the response, then please, by all means, message me on LinkedIn. But if you'd like a response, Instagram and Facebook are the applications that I use. Thank you, Sandra. She says that she's impressed. Okay, well, have a lovely end of your day. We'll get this replay up as soon as possible. I'll see you guys in whatever capacity that we see each other, whatever application. And Sandra, I'll see you in Marbella in June. And everyone else, I'll see you where I see you. Okay, ciao. Bye.